So I always thought that this was healthy. Oh, wait, I thought this was healthy too. Wow, this is so interesting. So today we're going to talk about some Indian street foods that we think are healthy but are actually not. And there are some that I'm going to mention which I myself thought that it would be healthy, but it turns out that it's the complete opposite. So what are these items and why are they unhealthy? Well, I'm going to explain this entirely and let's see if you know any of them. Number one is pav bhaji. Now, pav bhaji is one of the most popular street foods when it comes to Maharashtra, the state, and in Mumbai it's even more famous, also called as the Mumbai pav bhaji. And we all know pav bhaji to be this dish which is made of a lot of vegetables. So technically it has to be healthy, right? But it's the complete opposite. Firstly, the vegetables used in making pav bhaji are so smashed and hammered because they have to make a curry out of it that it loses all its nutritive value. And when you look at that pav bhaji dish, you can't really see what vegetables are used in it because that right there is just empty calories. And because you overcook these vegetables, they all lose their nutritive value. But that's not where it all ends. The dish is also prepared with a lot of butter and ghee and oil, and it's so generously used that it increases the unhealthy fats and the trans fat content. So other than just calories, it's also like a butter and oil party house. And if you have a high blood pressure, then you better watch out because a lot of sodium is used in making this whole pav bhaji. And also when you have a lot of street pav bhaji, like a lot of people have preferences. This guy's pav bhaji is better than this guy. And they use a lot of different things to make the pav bhaji very tasty, which most of us don't even know what those additives and preservatives are or the processed food that they're using in it. So that is also going to be a mystery. So basically, they have a lot of processed stuff in them. Many of those ingredients you'll not even be able to pronounce. But it doesn't end there because when it comes to your pav bhaji, the main thing is the pav, which is also called as a bread roll. And that entire pav is made of refined wheat flour, which lacks the fiber and nutrients that are found in whole grains. I used to have like 10 pavs. And most of the time, it is all buttered up, so it makes it even more unhealthy. And I know it's very yummy and you just want to gobble it up, and most of us don't even just have it as it is. We will always order for extra pav and extra butter and everything. So basically, all you're just having a whole meal of empty calories with no nutrition at all. Now, Medu vada is one of the most popular South Indian snack, which is very famous in places like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and even Tamil Nadu for that matter. Now, Medu vada is mainly made of black gram, which is also called as urad dal, and it's a lentil, which is a really good source of protein and other nutrients. So what can really make it unhealthy? Well, the main thing that goes into making a Medu vada, deep frying. Now, deep frying reduces the nutrient density as it strips away some of the nutritional benefits, making it as good as having no nutrition. Now, deep frying uses a lot of oil, which can add unhealthy saturated fats and also trans fats to the vada that is there. And if you consume too much of this, it is also linked with heart disease and other problems. Now, the sambar that you get with it, which is also like a gravy, it is very good. The coconut chutney that you receive with it can have a lot of added sugar and salt. And most of the time, we don't really just take it once, but we always ask for a second serve. So that adds a lot of sugar and salt to the body. So all you're doing is just having low nutritional value and empty calories. So if you think Medu vada is a healthy dish, well, it's not. Now, Suji Halwa and Rava Shira are popular sweet dishes that are made from semolina, which is also called Suji or Rava, and they are literally enjoyed in almost every part of India. But now, what makes it really unhealthy is the amount of sugar that goes into it. That is why you get that very sweet taste. And a lot of sugar consumption is associated with various health issues like dental problems, diabetes, and even weight gain. The way that these are prepared is very simple. So they toast the rava or the semolina, which is there, and they dip it literally, it is toasted in ghee and oil, which adds their calorie content and also a lot of unhealthy saturated fats. And the reason why it's tasty is because of the very rich content of fats and sugar. And fats and sugar are just known to make things really rich and really tasty. Diets high in saturated fats can be very bad for heart health. And the combination of ghee, sugar, and rava just make this whole thing very calorie dense. And they also lack a lot of vitamins, minerals, and fiber that is found in whole foods. So nutritionally, they are nothing, but taste-wise, they are 100. And you can't deny that because it is really tasty. And also because it is so rich with these ingredients that you keep wanting to have more and more of it, which then makes you indulge in it quite a lot and also then makes you lazy too. And it doesn't end there because if you add puris with it, which is also made of refined flour, then that just adds in a whole lot of calories and a whole lot of saturated fats. Now, parathas are one of the most favorite specialty of North India, and anywhere you go there, you'll somehow get them. They can be plain stuffed with various fillings or even flavored with herbs and spices. And they have a wide range of variations. Now, before you go on saying that, oh, how is parathas not healthy? Well, parathas are typically made of refined flour, which lacks a lot of fiber and nutrients. Now, of course, the ones made at home are majorly made of whole grains, but again, I'm not talking about the ones made at home. I'm talking about street food. And what makes it unhealthy are things that are also quite avoidable. One is the use of ghee, butter, and oil, which is generously used in your parathas. That makes the food very high in fat as much as it's high in carbohydrates. And the frying process adds extra calories and very unhealthy fat. Plus, the heavy use of ghee and butter no doubt makes it very tasty and you can't really resist it. Like, I can't resist it. But it's also linked with creating a lot of acidity and also it's bad for your bone health. Plus, like Paji, the use of salt and various spices in parathas can add to their high sodium content. And yes, I will say it again that the parathas at home are much healthier, especially if you go very basic and rather not putting in all the add ons. And whenever I go to the north, I just love having parathas, especially in the cold weathers, because more than the unhealthy factor, sometimes it's just the emotion. And these are literally my favorite, especially when you go up somewhere in the mountains. Number five is also one of my favorites, and I don't really know how to say this, but it's Panipuri or Golgappas. Now, Panipuri, Golgappas, Puchkas, they're all made in different parts of India and they're prepared very differently, but they have one common reason that they're all unhealthy. So whether you make it at home or whether you make it outside, most of it is unhealthy. And it all starts with the very first thing, which is the puri. Now, most of the puris are prepared with all-purpose flour, which already make it unhealthy. And they are also very deeply fried. So now you can imagine what that deadly combination is like. And pani puri starts with these round hollow shells, which are usually made from semolina or wheat or many other different versions of it. But at the end, they are deep fried, which makes it very crispy and irresistible. And most of the pani puris or your golgappas are filled with multiple things. So it can be a variation from mashed potatoes to pulses to something which is called as ragda. And with a combination of these fried shells, just make it like a carbohydrate party. And some pani puri versions also come with a tamarind chutney. It adds like a sugary kick, which is not really great for your sugar levels. And one of the ultimate result of having a lot of pani puri is acidity and a lot of heartburn. And many a times where you have from street vendors, we don't really know what the water is like, so you don't know if it's clean or if it's not. That will always be a mystery and also maybe a secret to their taste. And it's also one of the sole reasons for stomach infection in India. And because a pani puri or a golgappa has more of the water filling, so you keep craving for more. And because of the high sugar and salt, you will want to eat a lot more. That's why you have a lot of people having not just one plate but multiple plates. And you even have these pani puri competitions. But if you think they are healthy, well, they are not. Now, number six, and this is going to surprise you. So, is dosa unhealthy? Most of you are going to be like, no. Now, dosa by itself is not unhealthy. And just like paratha, the add-ons are what make it unhealthy. For example, frying or cooking a dosa with excessive oil or ghee can increase the calorie and unhealthy fat content. And when it's cooked this way, then a dosa becomes unhealthy. And most of the time, dosa is not had plain, but when you go or you have it on the street, you have multiple versions of dosa with tons of fillings, such as potato, masala, or even cheese. And as tasty as they are, they might not be the healthier choice. There is a reason why you can't replicate that at home. So even though the dosa by itself is unhealthy, the add-ons that come with it just make it a little more unhealthier. Now, number seven is frankly all these kati rolls, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right. And sometimes the bread that makes up the kati rolls, brushed with oil and butter, and it's almost like a buttery blanket in your filling. And then comes a filling which is even more unhealthy. For example, a palak paneer, the whole addition of cream and yogurt may give it a velvety texture, but it makes it very calorie and carb heavy dish. So the entire wrap is like a sizzling party wrap with no party happening inside. Basically, no nutrients at all. And the reason they have full of flavor is because of all the spices and the sauces that you add. So it makes it even worse. And many of these sauces might add those unexpected sweetness or spice or salt, but they are unhealthy. Now, number eight is the sandwiches that you get on street. Now, you might be wondering how is something like a street sandwich really unhealthy? Now, sandwiches are known to be healthy, but the reason street sandwiches are unhealthy is because of this. So it starts with the bread. Now, most of the bread used to make street sandwiches are the white bread, which is also made of maida. And even if you ask for the brown bread, it's mostly just bread that's dyed. Plus, street vendors, to make their sandwiches even more tasty, they use a lot of oil and butter very generously, which ends up increasing the fat content to make that sandwich tastier and rich. Then they use a lot of sauces and processed ingredients which make it even further unhealthier. And also the sauces and the seasonings that they use are very high in salt. And that's why even if the sandwich is really big, you can keep having it because the salt just makes you want to eat more. And many street sandwiches that we have hardly use any vegetables in it, where you end up missing all the vitamins, minerals, and the macronutrients that you need. Plus, they're always made for taste first. So even though you have this concept in the head that street sandwiches or sandwiches in general on the street will be healthier, Well, it's not. Plus, most of us don't really choose the basic ones which are actually healthy, that have all the vegetables in it. We choose the ones that are more rich with flavor and taste. So, those ones are not even close to being healthy. Number nine are Indian dumplings, or what we call as momos. Now, I'm not saying that momos are bad, but the ones that you get on the street are not really healthy. And even though you think that they are, and that's also for a very few reasons. Now, the outer doors of the momos are actually made with refined flour, which is not even close to being nutritious as whole wheat. It's like having a fancy jacket but not a single pocket. Now, when you have these momos, you'll not just have them plain, you'll always have them with some dip or some sauces. And these sauces are loaded with sugar and salt just to give you that extra taste. So basically, they give you extra calories and also fill you up with a lot of sodium. And momos are something that can also be had steamed or fried. Now, steamed momos are a little like these tiny clouds, but the fried momos take like a hot dip in oil, making them calorie dense and even less healthier. It's like a choice between a cloud and a deep fried cloud. And because these momos come in a very tiny size, so you feel that it's okay to have more. And most of the fillings that these momos come with are not very nutritionally dense. So basically, as an overall item, it's not really healthy. And if you really love momos and you want to have them, just go for a whole wheat with a better filling. So these are the nine street food items that are really unhealthy, and which are the ones that you thought that were healthy. Let me know in the comments, and until we meet again next, don't stress and be awesome. Rocher that.